Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Morning Masters Podcast, your host, Maine, of course. First of all, I want to shout out everybody that's been supporting the podcast platform. I appreciate it. Every single share, every single Facebook like, every single comment, message, good words, kind words, messages from all the people. When I see me out in public, it doesn't go unnoticed. It's never not appreciated. I appreciate every single person that supports the page, that gives me feedback, that gives me pointers, and that also just gives me things they want to see. So definitely shout out to y'all. I want to always start anything I'm doing with thanking my listeners. With that being said, I want to give shout out to my call. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace. I got my sweater on, so shout out to me. The last content I put out was a video about him, and I got great feedback from it. But it wasn't content for the sake of having feedback. It was more so just to release that, because I didn't get to do it at what we would consider his celebration of life. I didn't get to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't talk. I don't know. I froze up, and I wanted to get it out off my chest. I didn't want to walk around with that on my chest. It's a lot. And dealing with that, though, what I did notice is that sometimes in life, just because your life stopped doesn't mean that everyone else's life stopped. You know what I'm saying? Because, you can go through what you're going through, and you still got people that may hit you up for favors, hitting you up for this, mad at you for that, mad at you for this, and like you going through something like for real that you need people to be there for you and be around you for. And like I said, just because your life stopped don't mean that other people's life has to stop. So I'm learning that. That's new for me to learn, like something like that in life, but it's cool. It's not a big deal. I want to give a shout out to Neil from the Blair Brothers, Neil and Fahim actually, but Neil called me. He been calling me. And one thing about Neil gonna call you, man. I don't care what nobody say. Neil gonna call you about 4 or 5 times, maybe 10, depending on who you are. He texted me. It was good, King. Peace, King. Yo, always good words and just always positivity. But he finally just came to the job. I guess I wasn't answering for him. He came to the job, came up to see me and was like, he came to my house first, I think. And my mom's told him, no. He called my mom's. My mom's told him, just go to his job, And he came to the job. I see him out there. It's 90 degrees. Neil got a damn scully on his head. And I talked to him. He talked to me. He just told me like, yo, F any favors, F any business, F anything I might need from you, F anything that you might need from me. Like, what you good? Like, you want to go eat? Like, you need somebody to talk to? Like, let me know. Like, and he really just kind of like told me like, yo, we here for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we cool. Like, we not just users. We not using you. You're not just using us. It's not about business. It's not about what we could do for each other. It's just about us being good. Like, we here for you. And, that meant a lot, you know what I'm saying, for somebody to go out their way who don't have to go their way at all. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Neil for that. Shout out to Fahim. Shout out to the Bear Brothers. Make sure you go support them. Get your grass cut for them. You know what I'm saying? Definitely some cool dudes and down to earth dudes. Some genuinely cool dudes, man. I can't thank them enough. That meant a lot to me. So thank you, Neil. With that being said, though, I want everybody to, if you can, in this video, I'm gonna have a link on the bottom. It's the YouTube. It's gonna be a YouTube link to my last episode I put out, which was the Cam episode. Shout out to Juice OG. Cam, man, like I met him through work, right? And the podcast was dope. I'm gonna get into it more in depth in a little bit, but the podcast was dope. One thing I can say about Cam, I learned a lot about him in doing that podcast, and that's why I do it. Like, the podcast is me to learn, but also to just show that Augusta has more to offer than the golf tournament, once a year for 1 week out of the year when it's 52 weeks in a year. And we got 12 months, all right, 4 weeks in each month. Like, that 1 week ain't all Augusta has to offer. But when you look at the Cam episode and you break down his life and his decisions and the path he chose, we have a lot of Cams in Augusta. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that as a thing of just it being true. There's a Cam on every street, probably. Not on every street. I'm not gonna say that because he's definitely one of a kind in the way his mind thinks. But I'm thinking about in decision making, just choices and path we choose. We have a lot of Cams in Augusta, So I thought that was dope to do, because when when I'm doing a podcast and I'm trying to paint a picture, I want to paint a picture of the city through someone or someone's story or a conversation I'm having with someone. And I think that's what we did. You know, Augusta, here you have Cam, who isn't from Augusta, but primarily you might as well say he's from Augusta because he lived here for a long, long, long time. But he's from Florida. Why? Because his dad was in the military. So already you got history there. Okay, boom. People move here because the military. We got a base out here. So, you know, it's like little stuff like that. Like, I like to just, I think to me it means something. It might not mean nothing to anybody else, but it means something to me that I can start painting that picture already through that. Like, okay, boom, military brat. Not a military brat, but you know, in essence, kind of. So I thought that was dope. I never knew he lived with his dad. I never knew he had a dad. I never heard him talk about his dad before. So all this was new. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Cam, I would say fairly well. So I don't know. Like, learning a lot about him was good and bad. I was like, damn, do I really talk to him like that? You know, like, damn, we not cool, bro. What's going on? You know, like, what, you got a dad? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him for having a dad though. But I was like, okay, that's different. But to get into the episode, man, like, I want everybody to share. I thought it did a great feedback the first day we put it out. Oh my God, almost 1,000 views, a bunch of shares, about 40 shares, all the comments, all the new likes on my page. I got new likes, new followers. And that's always dope when I can put out content and get new likes and followers at the same time. Like, you really can't beat that, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to him for that. Because all those people he knew. But that's another thing with podcasting, with trying to grow the brand and grow the page. Like, through each guest, I try to bring people that's interested in them to the page as well. And it just keep going and going and going. So yeah, I'm sharing his story, and we talking, we having a great conversation. He's getting his story out. He's able to, you know, release any kind of thoughts he has about just his life, and maybe somebody can see his path he chose and go another way, maybe not. But at the same time, as he's getting all these chances to do this and that, I'm also getting more audience. More people that are like, yeah, I want to see more stories like this. You know what I'm saying? Oh, damn, this exists? What's this? Cause I don't think I'm just that big to where, like, everybody in Augusta knows me. Like, I don't think everybody in Augusta knows that what More Than Masters podcast is. I would like them to, but, you know, I know that you got to work listener by listener. You got to build everything brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? You don't build a house in one day. You can, but it might fall over. So, but yeah, I thought the camp episode got great feedback. Put out 2 clips already. So if you want to watch that, you just want to watch clips. If you go below this, just scroll up. It should be 2 video clips, about 20 minutes apiece. So those was dope. I like the fact that he told history through his story. And if you might know the word history, is HIS, his, and then you got story. You can break it down to 2. History, his story. I thought it was dope that he told his story by telling history. So, like, he was saying, because, like, I asked him a question. I was like, yo, you know, you like school. You talk about snapping and joking, this, that, and third. Like, why didn't you finish from Glen Hills? And he went on this whole, it was like 12-minute story. I broke it down to 3 minutes. Shout out to Cam, but he was very long-winded sometimes. That's why I knew he was getting comfortable. We're going to get into that. He tells me, he said, yeah, man, you know, pretty much Dr. Frazier came there. And his story of why his last day of high school and why he left is history, because he ended up making the Augusta Chronicle as a picture that day for having been told to pull his pants up or something like that. So the whole story, it kind of checked out in the Chronicle. That was wild to me. And I never knew this. This wasn't something that we had talked about beforehand. It was all new information. So I'm like, damn, Cam, you holding out on me. Like, what's going on? But that I like that, and it made me feel good as a podcaster / interviewer / conversationalist. It made me feel good to be able to bring that out of him, because I never knew this. I never heard that story before. I never asked him why he dropped out, this, that, and third. But for the sake of just talking, I'm like, yo, why? And just getting that why, I got that great story. And everybody been saying that they want Dr. Frazier on the podcast. So now I put that clip out. I feel like he might reach out and maybe he may come on the podcast. I don't know. We couldn't meet a certain time when we were doing it last time. So it was like he was busy, I was busy, he was busy, I was busy. I don't answer the phone, he don't answer the phone. So hopefully we can get it done. It wasn't nothing where I felt like he was playing me at all. So we can definitely still do that podcast. So if y'all know him, tag him please, and send him this and send him them clips. Send him the clip put out tomorrow about him and Cam, about how Cam dropped out of school. I thought it was a funny clip. So What I want to touch on with the podcast though, just in podcasting in general. Anybody that want to do a podcast, please listen to this part. One thing about me is I often feel like a podcast isn't going to be great if it doesn't match what I envision it to do. So when I'm in that mode of podcast and I'm doing it, and I'm not feeling the energy, or I'm not feeling like it's playing out how I played it in my mind, I instantly feel like either I'm feeling as a podcaster, or I'm feeling as an interviewer, or something just not there. And then during the Cam episode, I gotta give him credit first of all because he came straight from working. He about to start his own detailing business, so make sure you highlight him about his detailing business. He about to start his own detailing business, so he came from doing all that, and he just came from balling, just pretty much just doing recreational shit outside. We hit each other up, talking, da-da-da. I said, yo, pull up, let's do the podcast now. All right, bet. He came, ain't changing clothes, nothing like that. And we just rocked out. So shout out to him for that. And make sure you go support him when he drop his information about detailing cars. So one thing about the podcast with me and him is I felt at first, because what I envisioned in my mind and what I know about him, what I wanted to touch on and what I wanted to do, I felt it was some patchiness sometimes within the conversation we was having, right? And when I feel that way, I'm like, damn, I hope I'm not failing him, because I don't want to fail a person where they look at the opportunity as a good thing. Like, oh, I'm going to get this story. I'm going to be on More Than Masters podcast. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I never want to be the person that's like, yo, we ain't going to put it out, man. It wasn't good. It wasn't right. So I have to make sure all my stuff is set. And I think it was a little bit of a lot of stuff, like just maybe the answer to the questions. He's not a podcaster, so sometimes I ask him a question and maybe it might get 5-6 minutes before we get the actual answer. And it's not him, it's me asking questions, or him having to tell a story, or him thinking of the actual answer. Because like I said, these not thoughts or things that he talk about every single day. He don't talk about why he got kicked out of school every day. He don't talk about his dad breaking up with his mom or this, that, and third every single day. These are thoughts that he probably had, and he's trying to formulate them at that time. So I have to be understanding of that, and I don't think I was in the moment, right? But here's the silver lining. Like, I love the podcast, by the way. So it's the silver lining. What happens is, as I'm editing, as I'm editing the podcast, I might keep that in there too. The podcast, I noticed that patchiness that thought I was feeling wasn't patchiness at all, but it was authenticity. And you can't duplicate that, can't be replicated. It's authenticity because he's speaking truly, but he's making sure he's not saying nothing wrong. Let's say that, and something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Also, I found that dealing with when you interview or talk to people that are fresh out of the streets, or just finally gave up the streets, or either one foot in, one foot out, whichever one you want to pick, it's hard for them to answer certain questions because you might not want to put your mind back in that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to go back when you're trying to move forward. You know, you don't want to be like, okay, nah, you're trying to move forward. So some of the stuff you don't want to answer in a glorifying way too. And that one thing about Cam I like is like his whole story, which I'm not saying on the podcast, you gotta watch it. His whole story is dope. And it's like he don't brag or boast about this or that. He just him, just a regular guy. And that's what I like about the Cam podcast. So yeah, make sure y'all go support that and share that. I'm putting a clip out tomorrow. So if y'all can share that, that'd be dope. If not, I understand. But yeah, man, I want to know from y'all any guests y'all want on. Y'all gotta message me. I'm not saying that I'm gonna have the guests on. I'm just saying I want to know who y'all want, because if I run across that path or time makes it where that makes sense, I want to do it. I don't not ever want to do nobody on a podcast. It's just sometimes it doesn't make sense. If that makes sense, like it don't make sense to me to do this person right now, and I'm on this kind of wave, or if I'm on this wave, it don't make sense to me to do that when I did that already. You know, already got an episode like that, or that one. Just, it don't make sense. I want it to make sense. Everything I'm doing is for a reason. So I want things to flow a certain way. That's just how I always been. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to y'all. Shout out to supporters. If you know a topic you want me to discuss, please let me know. Also, I didn't say this one because this is a redo. I had to redo it because I lost audio. I'm gonna be posting more intimate / personal videos on my personal page, Bobby Boucher. So if you're not friends with me on there, please go add me on there. And if I'm cool with you, or if I know you, I'll add you, and you'll get to see more videos there. I'm doing a Father's episode soon, might do that. So, but a lot of videos I post on there, it come out there first, the ones with just me, because More Than Master is not about me, it's about other people. So when I do videos with me, I put it on my personal page, and with that, it be on there for about a week, sometimes 2 weeks before I make it public. So my friends or my intermediate group get to see it first. Or go subscribe to YouTube. I post it there as well. So either one, you don't have to add me if you don't want to. You can also just go to subscribe to YouTube and hit that bell, subscribe bell, and they'll let you know every time I drop a video. This one was a little longer. I want to do 15 minutes. I'm doing almost 16. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. But yeah, man, definitely keep supporting the page. Let me know what y'all want to see, who y'all want to see. If y'all want to see topics, y'all want to see more of this and more of that. I'm down. I'm game. Shout out to y'all. I love all my supporters, all my listeners, and I hope that we can continue to grow and build together. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all. More Than Masters Podcast, we out.